Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're unraveling a deeply embedded psychological habit that so many of us carry around without even realizing it. We're talking about extreme independence. You know, that relentless drive to just do everything yourself? Well, we're going to completely reframe how you understand it. Okay, let's dive into this.
The "I don't need help" lie. Just let that sink in for a second. We live in a society that absolutely loves the lone wolf, right? From a super young age, we're basically conditioned to believe that never needing a hand, never asking for a favor, and just carrying the entire weight of the world on our own shoulders is the ultimate badge of honor. We get rewarded for it at work, our friends praise us for it, and honestly, it makes us feel pretty capable. But what if that whole mindset is actually a complete falsehood? What if the thing you think is your ultimate strength is literally just an ingrained habit secretly keeping you isolated?
That brings us right to Section 1, the myth of independence, an illusion of strength.
And this brilliantly illustrates the massive disconnect between what we're seeing and what's actually happening beneath the surface. On the outside, extreme independence looks like pure, unadulterated strength. It looks like this impenetrable shield of armor. It's that person who just has it all together and never has to lean on anyone. But here's the kicker. Psychology calls this something entirely different. They call it a survival habit. It's a tragic irony, really. This ironclad independence, it isn't actually a sign of an unbreakable spirit at all. It's a psychological coping mechanism. It's this heavy, exhausting suit of armor you put on, not because you're invincible, but because you're fiercely protecting a really vulnerable core.
Section 2, Defensive Self-Reliance, explained.
Let's look at the formal definition straight from our source material. Defensive self-reliance is a survival habit masking as independence. Now, it's absolutely crucial to understand that we aren't just talking about being a highly capable person here. Being able to, fix your own car or manage your schedule, that's great. But defensive self-reliance is a whole different ballgame. It's a deeply ingrained, almost automatic response designed to protect you. It's a mask. You could literally be drowning in deadlines or going through a massive personal crisis, but you slap on that mask of "I don't need anyone," because the mere thought of actually relying on someone else feels incredibly dangerous to your emotional well-being.
The research puts this so bluntly. It says this habit was, quote, born because you learned early that you couldn't rely on anyone else. Think about what that actually means for a moment. This intense need to be independent isn't a personality flaw. It's not in your DNA. It is a learned behavior. Somewhere in your past, you reached your hand out and no one was there to take it. You asked for help and you were profoundly let down. So your brain, in all its protective brilliance, made a silent vow to you: never again. I will never put myself in a position to be disappointed like that again. You became totally self-reliant just to guarantee your own emotional survival.
Let's move to and see how this builds in Section 3, Giving Space to Matter, Social Consequences. Because here's the core paradox of this whole lie. Being too self-contained makes it practically impossible for people to enter your social circle. Think of your life like a giant, heavily fortified castle. You built these massive stone walls to keep the pain out, right? To protect yourself from ever being let down again. But here's the thing about stone walls. They don't discriminate. The exact same armor you're using to protect yourself from being hurt is actively repelling the meaningful connections you actually crave. If you are entirely self-contained, if you literally have zero needs, there's no door for anyone else to walk through.
So the crucial point is how this domino effect actually plays out in real life. Step 1, never showing vulnerability. You keep your guard up 24/7, projecting absolute perfection. Step 2, never asking for help. You stubbornly carry every single burden alone, no matter how heavy it gets. And then we hit Step 3, giving people no space to matter. Human relationships are fundamentally built on mutual need and support. When you absolutely refuse help, you're essentially telling the people who care about you that they are useless to you. You are completely denying them the opportunity to show their love through action. By needing nothing, you give them no space to matter in your life.
Section 4, Why You Walk Alone, the Final Reality. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the full puzzle chain we've just mapped out. You never show vulnerability. Because of that, you never ask for help. Because you never ask for help, you give people absolutely no space to matter, which leads directly to this ultimate, tragic outcome. You walk alone even when you don't want to. This entire psychological defense mechanism was brilliantly designed by your brain to keep you safe from being abandoned, but instead, it practically guarantees the exact isolation you're terrified of. You end up completely alone, not by conscious choice, but because you've pushed everyone away with an impenetrable armor of independence. As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a final thought to really chew on. Are you truly independent, or are you just walking alone? Take a look at your own habits. True strength isn't about never needing anyone. True strength is having the courage to finally lower the armor, ask for a hand, and give someone the space to matter.